In the 2010s, a 90s revival movement began to take shape in music, media, and most notably, fashion. The 20-year trend cycle continued to roll forward, with the bright 80s influences of the early 2000s fading out to make way for some of the darker, more subdued styles of the 90s. The kids of Gen X parents were coming into their teenage years, and with the resurgence of vinyl as the cool kid medium of music, many were exposed to the origins of grunge: Nirvana, Pearl Jam, Alice in Chains. It was a countercultural anti-consumerism movement that rejected the society of the decade of excess in the 80s, and that appealed to a lot of teens who were kids during the 2000s explosion of logomania and manufactured pop stars. The 2008 housing crisis left the country shaken and on a downward economic spiral, and the trends of excess just weren't feasible for the everyday consumer. It was the perfect entryway for the revival of grunge, and the new generation of young adults were ready to put their spin on it. The grunge look originated in the roots of its official definition: dirt. It was meant to be messy, unrefined, and a rejection of fashion as a whole. However, in 2010, with the emergence of soft grunge, outside influences of gothic and Japanese kawaii style added a touch of drama and femininity to the overall look. Other 90s styles like Kinderhore were massively influential. Think bands like Hole and Babes in Toyland. However, as with our previously covered aesthetics, this trend owes its popularity to social media, particularly Tumblr. Images of girls with dark lipstick, pastel hair, fishnets, and docks dominated bloggers' dashboards. The resurrection of vinyl records complemented the aesthetic perfectly, and Tumblr's favorite musicians defined the sound of the era. Alternative press writer Marian Phillips cited Sky Ferreira as having largely popularized the style beginning in 2009. The melancholia of her record Everything is Embarrassing set the tone for the soft grunge aesthetic, and music was a massive part of the culture. The Arctic Monkeys' cult classic AM was constantly left on repeat. The Neighborhood, The XX, and Tame Impala scored late nights in your best friend's car. Lorde, Marina and the Diamonds, and Lana Del Rey were Tumblr royalty, and then their individual styles influenced the hair and makeup of a generation of Tumblr girls. It was the era of the cool girl. Manic pixie mentality ran rampant, and everyone was digging out their old jars of manic panic hair dye that hadn't been touched since a middle school emo phase for the occasion. It was girly, feminine, but not overly so. The makeup was dark and heavy, yet the colors were pastel and playful. Lorde's MAC lipstick shade Heroin was in the pocket of every pair of high-waisted cut-off Levi's, and a pack of American Spirits was tucked in every boot. Boyfriend flannels stay perpetually tied around their waist, maybe with phrases like "dropout" written in Sharpie on the back. The look retained the effortless nature and the raucousness of its parent grunge while remaining photogenic and social media ready. It was soft and messy, pretty and dirty, a combination of influences at the right place at the right time. Social media aesthetics come and go, but fashion is cyclical. Elements of soft grunge may be recycled, and though we don't know what the future of online fashion holds, we do know